So I don't know if you all have watched. Have you watched Invincible yet, Jimmy? It's on Amazon Prime. It's an Amazon Prime show, just like The Boys. And honestly, from what I've seen of The Boys, it's a lot like The Boys as well in terms of how it looks at superheroes and people with powers. Any of the perks? There's not really any perks for Amazon that I know of, other than that you have access to insurance on day one. So that's nice. Although it doesn't really do anything for me because the only thing I'd use the insurance for would be covering top surgery, and you have to like get a therapist to sign off and everything and all that. So I'd have to get like a new therapist and go through several weeks of therapy with them to convince them that I'm trans enough for top surgery, and then get them to write a letter, and then get the Amazon insurance to see the letter and hopefully help pay for some of the top surgery, which is this. It's a lot. But also you don't have as many options when you use insurance, like in terms of which doctors you go to. Like there's some surgeons that don't take insurance, like the one down the road, Dr. Marvel, that's her actual name, that I was looking into, that is the one that I wanted to go to until I realized I wasn't going to be able to save up enough money before then. Doesn't take insurance, but has a base rate that you pay, and then that's it. You don't pay them any more money. Even if you have to come back for like revisions or extra checkups or anything, that you pay the $8,600 and that's it. That's all you pay. But you also have a lot more freedom in terms of like, essentially you're with that doctor, your first appointment is free. So like your appointment where they like check you out and just tell you like what type of top surgery you can get and all of that stuff all that's free. That your first, what's it called? What's it called? It's not like consultation. It's like essentially where they like price your titties and they're like, this is how much it's going to cost to lop those off. And they'll give you how much it costs then. And then I think it's like within a week or two after that, you can pick a surgery date. Like in that two-week period, you can choose a date at some point in the future. And then if you hit that date and you don't have the money by then, you can move it and you can move it and you can move it and you can move it. And so you've got tons of freedom with that. You get a here's how much this is going to cost you. We'll take your money whenever you're ready to give us your money, and then we'll do the job as soon as you give us the money. You can't pay in like increments. You have to save it up and then just pay it all out at once, from my knowledge. I don't know, maybe they do increments now. But you don't get that kind of flexibility when you use insurance, because insurance is such a pain in the ass. So it's like kind of a trade-off. If you really just are never going to be able to save up the money for it, insurance is your way to go. But if you're going to be able to save up the money for it, it's probably better to just fuck off, Nat. Oh my god. I've got this really little gnat that keeps crawling around and everything. It landed on my arm earlier. But if you have if you know you're gonna be able to save up the money, like I know I'm gonna be able to save up the money because I live with a roommate, so not all of my money will be going to rent. So I'll be able to save up the money over time to afford it in full. That flexibility is your trade-off, and that's nice. You also have more options because doctors that do take insurance also will allow you to not use insurance, whereas the doctors that don't take insurance, they don't take insurance, so you can't do anything about that. So you also have more options in terms of surgeons as well. I suppose they don't want all the paperwork. I don't know. I've talked to several people that have gone to that specific to Dr. Marvel's what is the word for like a doctor's office? Practice. Gone to Dr. Marvel's practice, and their results are all fantastic, and they said they all had a great time, and it was super easy, and everyone there was really nice to work with and be around, and they felt comfortable, and which you don't always hear from a lot of them. A lot of top surgeons are not very affirming of your gender when you're there. They just want your money and they want you out, and so you really have to shop around. And it's funny because there's like a whole Facebook group for the Vanderbilt Top Surgery Clinic here, because Vanderbilt is like the big medicine place here in Nashville. The Nat is just like chilling. but it's on a thing I can't whack. There's a whole like top surgery Facebook page for Vanderbilt, people who want to go to Vanderbilt for their top surgery, or they're looking into the Vanderbilt top surgeons. Right. Marvel took my titties, right? And there's just the scarring on all of them is just really bad. And obviously scarring is going to vary from person to person, but I've never seen so many people so long after surgery still have those massive ass scars. And that just makes me really wary, because the scarring is the thing I'm most concerned about. Like, I couldn't give less of a fuck about the surgery or the recovery. I'm concerned about the long-term scarring, because for me, it's all about aesthetics. And if I've got these giant ass slashes on my body that are really obvious, then I really don't want that. Although it's just going to have to be part of what I accept as part of getting top surgery, because that's what top surgery is. But also scarring very much, it depends pretty heavily on how good your surgeon is, and also what type of surgery you get as well. Which type of top surgery you get will affect your scarring as well. But also everyone heals differently. So like, I believe it's Jamie Dodger on YouTube. He said he took care of his, he did everything he was told to do. He, put the oil on it and the tape, and like he did everything that you're supposed to do, and his still stretched. And I'm so concerned that's what mine are gonna do. And because I don't like that idea, but if I want these gone, then I gotta deal with it. So when you still have both options, either go through Amazon or save up again. Exactly. I'll probably just wait to get it until we move, to be honest, because at this point I'd have to get the surgery in like December or January in order to be back to full functionality to help move, because it can take several months before you've got like full motor function again, in terms of like how far you can reach without stretching your scars and stuff. You're able to usually go back to work within like 6 weeks, I think, but it can sometimes take longer than that, especially if you have revisions or anything goes wrong, or if you just take longer to heal. And I don't want to be like half strength when we're moving, plus additional costs of moving. So I think I'm just going to save. I actually haven't mentioned this to Max yet, but I think I might try, probably not, because it's requires steps, and we all know how my ADHD deals with steps. Instead of paying to have my titties chopped off, I might pay to have my legal name changed while I'm still, because I don't know if you have to like go back to your home state to get that done, but since I'm still really close to my home state, that would be really easy to do right now. I have all the documents that I need to do that, but I don't know the specific process that Kentucky-born people have to do to change their legal name, but that should be a way easier process. The only thing is, I don't want to have to like change my legal name and get a new license here in Tennessee, and then immediately move to Maryland or wherever, and immediately have to get another new license there, because you have to pay money every time you get a new license. So I don't know how that works. I haven't looked into it yet, but that'll just be way cheaper. Obviously, by far will be way cheaper than top surgery, obviously, but. Obviously, there'll be top surgeons in Baltimore or wherever the fuck it is we live next. There's big cities everywhere up in New England, so lots of options up there. Kind of shot myself in the foot by quitting Kroger when I did, but hindsight's a bitch. Hindsight's the worst. Isn't hindsight the worst? Oh my god. You look back and you're like, I could have done that so much better. My life would be so much better if I had done this, this, and this instead of what I ended up doing. And it's so fucking frustrating. It was 2020, and 2020 was a bastard, so yeah. A big old bastard. I sound tired. I feel like I sound tired. Or like I still just woke up. My nose has been doing the stop-up thing lately. Or like I'll talk, and then I guess mucus will collect or something. And eventually it'll get to the point where it just suddenly stops up my nose and then I can't fucking breathe. So that will probably happen today because it does it while I'm talking. and we're doing Reddit today, and that requires talking. Also, so what I'm thinking for the quarry, since I have to go back and do chapter 7, in order to have a chance to save Laura, I might work on that tonight, off stream, and play through 7 again, because 7 is a fairly long chapter where I only literally need to change one fucking thing about the chapter. Play 7, maybe play 8, and then replay 9 and 10 on stream tomorrow, maybe. And then start Mortuary Assistant next week. Or if we get to tonight and I decide I don't want to do that, I'll download Mortuary Assistant instead, and we'll play that tomorrow. Because I don't know if I want to spend that ton of time on it, because I really just don't care. I mean, it'd be cool to see the ending, but I could also just watch other people play it and see the ending. You know what I mean? Because Jacksepticeye played it in full, and I do wonder if I'll need to look and see if he shot the cop or not. Yeah, I could totally watch his playthrough of it. His would probably be entertaining. He probably enjoyed it a lot more than I did, so. Let's see. Probably be in part 3.
Welcome back!
Let's see if he ended up shooting her. Shooting him, I mean. So it's not this chapter. Weird. Must be part 4 then. I don't know why I opened it over there, but I don't really want to suffer again is the thing. I can't decide. Oh, he didn't shoot him. Okay. Oh, he must have done it where he trusted her and let her go so she didn't have to shoot him. Because essentially you just have to not shoot him. You can put him out. You can like... Because when I did it, it said, Travis will kill you later. And I should have known then that I needed to replay the chapter. Because he's one of the 2 fucking characters I give a shit about. So yeah, I guess I'll watch Jack's playthrough since it seems he'll at least have the chance to save her. So I can see the, like, because there's a bunch of extra shit in 10 if you survive that like fight encounter with Chris's werewolf, the one where I got Ryan killed. If you survive that, there's like a whole extra section in chapter 10, and that's why 10 felt so short, because I didn't unlock it, the possibility for the best ending. Because I'm bad at everything. I also didn't realize that you could seal someone's fate so early in the goddamn game. So, can you avoid the eye injury? No, I don't think you can. I believe that is part of it. God, this gnat is so little, so it's really hard to fucking kill it. Plus, it keeps liking to land in places that I can't whack. God. I hate gnats. I hate them so much. I hate them so much. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of disappointed when the eye injury was healed. Because I really liked her with the eye patch. Got it! Fuck you, bitch. God. It was so little. It would have slipped right through a bug zapper. Unless the bug zapper was a solid like this. It would have slipped right through it. That's how little it was. Fucking tiny. Like could land on the head of a needle type little. Fucking shit. There's always at least one in here to piss me off, you know? Let's see if this is doing anything having this open. Let's see. It is. Okay, so we'll leave it open then. Oh, Faye sent me a message. I forgot. She sent me a message yesterday. Oh, attachment unavailable. Lamau. Well, that was uneventful. I'm almost $25. I downloaded this app on my phone where if you play games through this app, you make money. And I'm almost to the point that I've got enough points to like redeem a $25 gift card. So that's nice. Because I've also only had this app for like maybe a month. And I just play the games every once in a while. Like when Max and I are watching YouTube or something, I'll sit there and play them. Or if I'm I don't know, watching a long-ass YouTube video overnight, I'll play Scrabble or whatever that I've got downloaded. Yeah, it's a really good app, but you can also cheat the system. So, like, I have one of the games open right now, and if I just leave it open and have my phone set to not lock until 30 minutes of inactivity, it, like, thinks I'm playing the game, so it, like, gives me rewards for playing the game. So it's just really slow, obviously, compared to if I was actually playing the game. But earlier in the game, like before I hit a certain level, it was like boom, 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 boom. You'd gain like 600 points or something in like an hour. And you have to get to like 7,000 to redeem the $25 gift card. So that's really fucking good. Best I had was a few pounds when uploading receipts. It's called Misplay. It's not available on Apple, though. We discovered that when Max tried to download this one. It's apparently just Android, so, which is interesting, I think, anyways. But there's plenty of apps out there like it, so. Apple wants their cut, yeah, for sure. All right. Feels like it's been longer than 18 minutes, but I feel like I've been sitting here talking for a long time. Alrighty. Let's decide who the asshole is. Let's move this over here. Alrighty. Alright. Am I the asshole for celebrating my birthday, which is the 1-year anniversary of my nephew's death? I'm a 25 female. My nephew, 4 months, passed away a year ago from cancer. It was right on my birthday, and there was no celebration. There was nothing because everyone was devastated, obviously. My sister Denise is still grieving. She's in therapy and making some progress, but it's been slow. My family and I try to be as supportive as possible. Birthdays in my family are very important. We throw huge parties. I believe and have been taught that birthdays are important and should be cherished. Yesterday was my birthday. Obviously, I felt bad about the anniversary of my nephew's death, but I was also a little down about not being able to celebrate like I used to, and my girlfriend knew that. In the morning, I went to Denise's house, stayed by her side until almost lunchtime, when my mother would stay with her. We didn't want to leave her alone, but no one could stay all day. I went to work at night, and at night, my girlfriend made a surprise at home with a candlelight dinner and a small cake, something very intimate for the both of us since my family was in a bad way. I didn't post on social media, but my girlfriend posted a picture of us holding hands in the dinner she made with "Happy Birthday, Love." My mom and Denise follow her on Instagram. I woke up the next day to hundreds of texts from my mom and Denise asking if I was celebrating, even though it was such a sad day, and how heartless I was to celebrate knowing my sister was in such a bad way. Even though I said it was a surprise, they called me cold, heartless, and insensitive to the pain of others, saying I should have refused to celebrate. I was just glad I celebrated because it's something important to me, and I didn't even realize when my girlfriend posted this photo on Instagram. By the way, in case you're wondering, none of them remembered it was my birthday. Am I the asshole? No, I don't think you're the asshole. I think it's a shitty situation, but you didn't celebrate when he died because obviously that would have been really insensitive to celebrate your birthday on the day that your nephew fucking died. But it's been a year. And it wasn't like you threw a big party and like, you know, screamed and shout and invited them and like all this shit. Like you had a nice dinner with your girlfriend. I don't see any difference between just having a date night with your girlfriend versus what you did here. So, no, I don't think you're the asshole. Let's see what the comments are saying. Not the asshole. You didn't make your mom or sister celebrate with you. It was you and your significant other. Does Denise expect you to never celebrate your birthday again? Yeah. Not the asshole. When I read the title, I thought you'd thrown a big party. No, you just had dinner with your girlfriend. In no way were you or your partner insensitive to your sister. If anything, I consider it a quiet, intimate dinner instead of a large event. A very respectful way to acknowledge your birthday without being excessive. Absolutely. Not the asshole. You didn't shove your birthday in everyone's face. You didn't act like your birthday reigned supreme. You spent time with your sister on a day when she needed support and had a very quiet event with your partner, which you have every right to do. People grieve differently, but that doesn't mean aspects of life shouldn't still be celebrated. You acted appropriately. Yeah. By this logic, no child whose mother died in childbirth should ever get a celebration. I know a dad whose wife died after his son was born. Some years you can tell it wears on him, but most of the time you see him trying his best to show up for his kid on a weekend party. It's sad, sobering, and awful, but a single private moment as an adult is not tantamount to denying the family's grief or mourning. Yeah. Yeah. Not the asshole. Someone else's death, while sad, doesn't mean you don't get to go on living and celebrating. Yeah. And yeah, if this person had thrown a big hoopla hurrah party, probably would be a bit shitty, but that's not what happened, so. Let's put on some background music. It's really quiet. Can y'all even hear that? Can you hear the music? I have it down pretty low. Just so it's not completely quiet. Can y'all hear it? Okay, you can. Cool. Seems there's about a 10-second delay. Busy installing the app. Oh, were you able to get Misplay? I don't remember if you've got an Apple or Android, so. Or did you download a different app? I also like this Misplay app because it lets you download things like Solitaire and Yahtzee and stuff like that. It doesn't have you download like really annoying games that are really stupid. I downloaded this one zombie apocalypse game and it's actually pretty fun. I lost interest in it just because ADHD, but I played it for hours the night I downloaded it. So I'm really addicted to this matching game, which I never thought I would be because the like ads for it were always super fucking annoying. And I've seen a lot of the ads. It's called like Evermerge or something. I did not mean to click that. Oh well. Oh my god. Why are you doing this to me? That's not what I wanted from you, you bitch. That was really rude. Um, but yeah, it's called Evermerge, and it's a really basic game where you just combine things, uh, and it makes more things, and then you go from there. Um, and you just keep combining shit, and it's way more addictive than it should be, in my opinion. But yeah, I also just have regular like Spider Solitaire and a basic like Solitaire Dragons game, and then Yahtzee. I have Yahtzee. I've got Scrabble. Like it's a lot of like normal basic games that you can actually like enjoy playing, and you're not just playing it for the points. You're actually playing it because it's fun, and it's something to do. You know. Yeah, they have a bingo one on here as well. Alright. Am I the asshole for asking my parents why my wedding gift was significantly smaller than my sister's? My husband and I, 28 male, 28 female, got married recently, and my sister, 31 female, and I were discussing the wedding after returning from the honeymoon. We are very fortunate to have grown up in a household where my parents made very good money. They were generous with us, but raised my sister and I to be hardworking and not dependent on them as adults. This song is too distracting. I'm sorry. Okay, that's better. Sorry, I could focus. My sister and I both do well financially, as does her husband, 36 male. My husband loves his job, but it is not one that has a ton of earning potential. He and I met in college, so I've always known this was his plan, and we are very happy with our setup. During my discussion with my sister, she asked me if my husband and I were planning to use the wedding gift money from my parents to do a particular renovation for which we've been saving. But I was very confused because the gift, while extremely generous and appreciated, wasn't nearly enough to cover that. She told me how much she had been gifted, and it was more than twice what we had been given. And that I couldn't, oh my god, I can't read. After that, I couldn't stop thinking about why I'd gotten less, so my sister encouraged me to ask. During a call with my mom, I couldn't stop myself from asking. Her response was that it wasn't my business, but since I did ask, my sister had chosen a partner that can accommodate the lifestyle she's used to, so they gifted her accordingly. But would it make sense to give more money to your child who's marrying someone who's not as well off? Wouldn't that make more sense? Like, isn't the one who's well off they don't need your money? We are not entitled to gifts of any size in life, but I still can't help feeling hurt that my parents feel that my husband and I are less deserving than my sister and her husband based on income. Meanwhile, my parents are angry at both my sister and me for having this discussion and bringing it to them. TLDR, my sister accidentally revealed that our parents gave her a considerably larger wedding gift, and now they're mad at me for bringing up the topic. No, you're not the asshole. Your parents are jerks. And I'm glad that your sister isn't like, I'm better than you. She's like, why the fuck didn't you get the same amount as me? That's weird. So. Not the asshole. There's a lot of reasons that would have made sense and been okay, including a simple, we're not in the same financial situation we were when you gave your sister your wedding gift, but to make it about how much you guys make is basically a passive-aggressive way of saying, you got less because you picked a partner we feel is beneath you. Yep. Yeah. I don't understand your parents' reasoning. It seems like they just want to punish you for choosing a spouse that makes less money than they would have preferred. Honestly, if your sister's husband is so well off, why would she need additional money as a gift? That's what I said. That's what I said. Not the asshole, but that's a weird way of gifting money. Your sister and husband make more, so they get more, and you get less because you make less. Does not compute. Yeah. Maybe the parents think the sister and husband work harder than OP and husband, and so they deserve more. Total crap logic, but that's the only way I can see it making any sense at all. Even though it does not. Yeah. Gotta love the money attraction. Yeah. Man, I wish my parents would give me a fuck ton of money. That'd be nice. Or if anyone would give me a fuck ton of money, I'll take it from anybody. Except like a mob boss or something, someone I'm going to pay back. And that's precisely why I said gift me the money. Alrighty. Hold on. I think I'm allergic to something that is like outside and floating its way in, or is in the vents or something. Because when I sit in here, I get stopped up. You saw me yesterday. My eye was watering. My nose was running. Like, I usually get a bit of mucus in the morning. I feel like a lot of people do. I tend to get it more during the fall than I do in the summer, but I sometimes get it in the spring as well because of allergies. But this is ridiculous. It's usually cleared up by now. This is unacceptable. Can't breathe. Am I the asshole for cutting off support to my daughter? All right. I, 52 male, have 3 children with my ex, Tracy, a 50 female. Michael, 28 male, Linda, 25 female, and Victoria, 23 female. We split because Tracy had an affair with Stan, 55 male, to whom she is now married. We never shared with the kids the reason for the divorce, as I didn't want them to blame either of us. This backfired as the kids saw their mom move out of the house into a small apartment, and me kept living in the house and remarried 2 years after the divorce, so they saw me as the bad guy. Stan and Tracy let them pretty much do whatever they wanted, and I had to be the disciplinarian who made sure homework was done, appointments were made, and deadlines were met. My 2 oldest eventually came to realize I was not the bad guy. My son, when he found out that his mother had put nothing away for college for him, as outlined in our divorce decree, and she told him to take out loans. My daughter, when she realized her grades were going to keep her out of her desired program in school. My youngest never came around, so it was a surprise when her boyfriend asked for my blessing to ask for her hand. When I expressed that I didn't think she'd care about my blessing, he said she insisted on it. She began spending time with me, being polite to my wife, and it felt wonderful to have my daughter back. This is sus. What does she want? I went with them to book the venue, and they'll be getting married next summer. I paid the deposit and the first installment. I noticed that she was becoming less communicative again recently, ignoring my texts or giving one-word replies and not coming over as much. On Monday, my son sent me a post from Instagram. My youngest had an engagement party this weekend to which I was not invited. One of the photos was her with Stan, and it read, "Anyone can be a father. It takes a real man to be a dad. This amazing guy has been my dad for 15 years, even though he didn't have to be. I'm so blessed to have him walk me down the aisle next year." Yikes. My kids wanted for nothing their entire lives. Oh, okay, sorry. I can't read it. Yes, I did. I just didn't bother taking it off. My kids wanted for nothing their entire lives because I never let them go without. Even when they wouldn't talk to me, I made sure their needs were met. I texted Tracy to ask why I was not included. She replied that Victoria did not want my wife there because she wanted a drama-free day. My wife has literally never started drama in her life. I asked if Stan and I would both be walking her down the aisle. She did not respond. But Victoria called me up demanding to know what my problem was. I repeated my question, and she replied that no, Stan, her dad, would be walking her down the aisle. I told her that if that's what she wanted, I would be that I can't read. I'm so sorry, guys. I told her that if that's what she wanted, I would be fine with it. I told her to let Stan know the next payment for the wedding is due in November. Stan and Tracy do not have the money for this wedding, and I think I'm being an asshole. Linda says if I do this, Victoria will never speak to me again. Michael is on my side. Not the asshole. Your child is an asshole. And was probably, especially since, I don't know if, did they live with her after you all? Oh, it was a split thing. Stan and Tracy let them do whatever they want. Yeah, so it's, I'm not saying this is what happened, but it's definitely a possibility that Stan and Tracy kind of poisoned Victoria against you. I don't know why Linda is siding with Victoria on this, but at least Michael is intelligent enough to understand that what you're doing makes sense. And what Victoria has done is a real dick move. So, no, I would say not the asshole. If you aren't her dad in her eyes, then why would you pay for the wedding? Here's a novel idea. The bride and groom can pay for the wedding instead of the parents. I'm recently engaged and wouldn't dream of asking my parents for help paying for the wedding. Yeah. I feel the same way. Even if my parents and I had, a good relationship, a healthy relationship, I probably, I wouldn't ask them to help pay for it. If they offered to, I'd probably take them up on the offer just because, why not? But I wouldn't be y'all need to pay for this wedding, you know? Also, I wouldn't be the bride, so usually it's, the bride's family that pays for things. But like, if my parents offered to chip in, I probably wouldn't say no. It'd be like, oh, well, you don't have to. And they'd be like, oh, well, we insist. And I'd be like, oh, well, if you insist, you know, like it'd be one of those situations. But like, I wouldn't be like, y'all need to help me pay for this. You know, I got engaged. I proposed to someone. It's not on anyone else to pay for that outside of me and the person I proposed to. If our parents, mine and whoever I proposed to, want to help, that's great. But it's not like a requirement, you know? And especially if my fiance or whomever is treating their parents like a fucking asshole. You know what I mean? Like, dick move, in my opinion. But that's just how I see it. They're growing now, time to rip off the Band-Aid. Yeah, and it's not like they're getting married young or anything. I mean, 23 is a little young to get married, but it's not like 20 or something, you know? Like, I think waiting until you're at least 25 before you get married is probably for the best. Even if you're already with the person you want to marry, I think 25 is a good time to wait till. Full disclosure, I'm not Michael, but I'm on your side too, OP. The truth about your divorce was ugly and unflattering to Tracy, so you apparently agreed to hide it forever. OP, not just till the kids were grown, but forever. That decision has bitten you in the ass and cost you your relationship with at least one of your adult kids. Please sit down with Linda and Michael and tell them the truth. About the divorce. Show them the bratty Instagram post from Victoria and say, you know I love all of you, but everyone has limits. I feel used and disrespected, and I'm not going to put up with anyone. If Victoria wants to talk to me about this directly, fine, but I'm not willing to bankroll an event where I'm cast as an unwelcome stranger. Not the asshole for keeping your money in your wallet and finding something else to do on wedding day. Yeah. 100%. I agree. Hello, rookie. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you today? Alrighty. This music will always remind me of Zelda Breath of the Wild, because we listened to so much of this music so often while I played that. All of the music on this list reminds me of it, pretty much. Almost all of them, especially all the ones without like lyrics. Like this one makes me think of Kakariko Village for some reason. It vaguely sounds like the music for Kakariko Village, but like it's not the same, obviously, but it just has the same vibe. And I've definitely listened to this song while wandering through Kakariko Village, so but I think about it every time I play this music while I'm doing other things. Oh, I do, because that's when I really started playing it, was when we were doing Zelda. So looking forward to the next Zelda game, though. That'll be fun, whenever that comes out, if it ever comes out. Who's to say if that's ever gonna fucking happen? At this rate, I don't see it coming out anytime soon, but don't they keep moving the date? Or has it always been slated for 2023? Yeah. See, I feel like playing Breath of the Wild before playing any of the other newer games that aren't like DS games, because those are the only Zelda games I'd played before Breath of the Wild were all on the DS. I feel like I couldn't go back and play like Skyward Sword on Wii, even though we have it, because I don't know, it wouldn't feel like I've been spoiled graphics and gameplay wise, if that makes any sense, by Breath of the Wild, that I feel like going back and playing Skyward Sword would feel so strange, you know? So I do look forward to reselling the quarry, because I will probably get quite a bit of money for it. I'll probably check out, Max, do you remember if there's a game exchange here in Nashville? I don't think there is one here. It's in Clarksville, Tennessee. How far is that? That is an hour from here. Yeah, no, we'll probably just take it over to McKay's. The Wii is only 720p. It's noticeable. Oh, it's very noticeable. And like I said, like, if I'd played that one first, I probably would be fine with it. But because I played Breath of the Wild first, you know. Yeah, it'd have to be, like, I'd want to get it, like, price checked. Because I feel like it would sell more at Game Exchange. Because that's, like, what they sell. Then, like, that's what their, like, main thing is selling games and, like, comics and stuff. Whereas, like, McKay's sells everything, you know? I feel like I'd get more money for a basically brand new game that you can only get for, like, $50, you know? I feel like I'd get more money for that. If that makes any sense. I don't know. Then you have the most outrageous price on Switch. I also like the Wii controls. Most people don't. Oh, you can get it on Switch? You can get Skyward Sword on Switch? Yeah, I love the Wii controls. The Wii is, like, the main console that I grew up with. We had a PS2 and a Wii when I was growing up. That's what we had, so... The Wii is my console. Like, we all have that one console that we kind of grew up with, and the Wii is mine. So, I feel like the Wii is most of ours at this point, because we're all the same generation, so... Plus, the Wii became so... The Wii was so popular for so long. Like, genuinely. Like, it's not ever had... Like, there's no Wii 2 or anything. Like, the closest thing to a Wii 2 was the Wii U. And I think that's really telling that the Wii doesn't have 40 different iterations. It's just the one Wii, and it was inexpensive. Not too long after release, it was very affordable. And really had really fun gameplay, had new ideas added to it that weren't as accessible before. And I think that there was a lot of positive things that played into it. Plus, it being made by Nintendo also helped because you have access to, like, the full Nintendo library, pretty much. The sheer amount of games available for the Wii is unimaginably large. It's a very large catalog. Oh, I leveled up by not doing anything. Lamau. I love it when that happens. Yeah, the Wii was the shit, man. The amount of hours my sister and I played on that thing were crazy. We'd play Super Mario Brothers, and we'd get mad at each other, and we'd yell at each other because we were terrible at teamwork. Because I'd try to take charge, because otherwise we'd just be running around willy-nilly, and then she wouldn't listen to me, and then it always ended up in a fight, because we'd get killed or something, like we'd die in the game or whatever, and yeah, it never ended well, but it was always fun at the start. I feel like the Mario Sonic Olympics was the shit, because I think we had that on Wii, and we had it on DS at one point. That game is so fucking fun. It's unacceptable how fun that game is. Genuinely. So. Am I the asshole for eating the only food at home that my little brother could eat? We came back from our trip last night. It was late, and my little brother Neil, 5, and I, 17 female, were hungry. My parents bought 2 sandwiches for us. I need to add that my parents are against fast food. The number of times I've eaten fast food in my entire life is less than 10, and I really love fast food. We got home, and Neil was running around as usual while my parents tried to get him to sit down and eat, but he grabbed the sandwich and ran. At one point, we went to the bathroom and accidentally dropped... Oh, he went to the bathroom and accidentally dropped the sandwich there. He couldn't eat it anymore, so my parents looked for something else for him to eat. But we only had eggs at home, and he doesn't eat eggs, sensory issues. And it was too late for anything to get anything for him. My parents told me to give my sandwich to my brother and eat eggs instead. They said if I do this, they will buy one for me tomorrow. I know they wouldn't because that's what they always do. Every time I give Neil something, the next day I ask them when they are buying it for me, and they say, oh, we're actually not going to buy it for you. So before anyone could take it, I grabbed it and went to my room, locked the door, and ate it. I'm now grounded, and they say it was an asshole move to make my little brother go to bed hungry. Well, he shouldn't have thrown the sandwich on the floor then. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to tell you. You say sensory issues here. I don't know if he's got, I don't know, autism or some shit. I don't know. But if he does, that's one thing. Like, limited, like, obviously people with sensory issues in general, not even autism, but like sensory issues in general. Max and I both have a variety of things that we don't eat or like because of the way it feels or whatever. It's not just exclusive to autism, but seeing as this is a common occurrence, I would imagine that maybe he does have some sort of a bit of autism, you know? But, like, control your child, you know what I mean? Like, that's not an excuse for the parents to allow the kid to just run around and throw shit, you know? Also, why is there, like, I get you just came back from a trip, but, like, why is there no food in the house? You know, like, there's a lot of food you can keep in the house that keeps for a while. Like, there's not any peanut butter and bread. Like, you didn't stop and pick up bread on the way home, you know? Yeah, like, it's not, I feel like if it had been, like, I feel like she would have done it if they hadn't told her they would buy her a replacement many times in the past and not done that. Like, if these parents weren't terrible, then I feel like she would have done it, if that makes any sense. I expect that this child will likely not speak to their parents very much after they move out in a year. So, assuming they're going to college, of course. That is kind of the vibe I get. Now the asshole, your parents need to realize they can't just promise unpromise like that, and they need to have more in the house than just eggs. I would agree with the whole they got back from a trip thing, but, like, peanut butter lasts forever. Like, peanut butter does not expire in a time frame that is reasonable. You know what I mean? Like, you could buy a jar of peanut butter 2 weeks before your trip. If your trip is 2 months long, you'll come back and that peanut butter is still safe to eat. You know what I mean? Like, eggs, on the other hand, fucking expire fairly quickly. So, yeah. Or just get fast food. I know she said her parents are against fast food. Are you more against fast food than allowing your kids to consume food? Like, they need to parent your brother better and not demand you give up your food while lying about replacing it. Yeah. It's just easier for them to reason with a 17-year-old than manage a 5-year-old who they clearly don't set boundaries for. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. They're assholes for not having enough food at home and expecting you to go without dinner because they didn't supervise your little brother. Also, they're literally prioritizing one kid's needs over the others on a regular basis, it seems. It begs the question, was the younger brother accidentally dropping the sandwich, or was it a deliberate act? How poor is the family? Might be why they don't buy it. Peanut butter's cheap. Especially considering how long it lasts. Peanut butter is very inexpensive. And, like, I don't know. If you know you've got peanut butter at home, pick up a loaf of bread on your way home. Voila, sandwiches for a week. You know, like, there are ways to afford food while poor. There's a lot of cheap foods out there, you know? If you save up and buy a microwave, you can live off ramen forever. Because that shit is the most inexpensive that things can get, you know? And if you've got a microwave, because you don't have a stove in your home or something, quick, easy meals that are cheap, inexpensive, and tasty. So, another reason not the asshole, I say, is because they specifically rounded you for both their failure to parent and their refusal to provide for both of you. I meant the fast food and buying whilst out. See, it doesn't seem like it's a money thing. It just says, my parents are against fast food. They've eaten fast food less than 10 times in their entire life. McDonald's is not expensive. Anywhere. McDonald's is cheap. That's where poor people go to eat. You know what I mean? Like, you can buy a meal for, like, 3 people for $5. Like, It is so inexpensive to eat at McDonald's, for example. Like, a lot of, like, eating fast food all the time is going to rack up money, but stopping for food once at a fast food place is not going to break the bank for most people, you know? Especially people who can afford going on a vacational trip, you know? People who are so poor they can't afford McDonald's can't afford to go on long trips. So, sounds like a moral objection based on OP's description to me. Exactly, that's what I got from it as well. It's not like, it's like how vegans object to eating meat. Like, that's kind of what it sounds like here. Certainly not the budget meals. No, but this doesn't sound like a money issue. This sounds like a bad parent issue, in my opinion. So, it's one thing to limit the amount of fast food your kids eat while you raise them. That's perfectly fine and understandable. It's not healthy to have your kids scarfing down McDonald's 4 times a week, you know? Like, you're going to end up with fat kids, especially if you don't have, especially if your family doesn't have skinny jeans, you know? Like, if your family is prone to gaining weight, McDonald's 4 times a week, not the best plan, money-wise or health-wise. Did the parents not get food for themselves? I'm not sure. It does kind of seem like it, doesn't it? But obviously we don't know everything about this person's situation, but it seems to me that the parents are just, you know. Not sure. They didn't say what their parents ate, so. McDonald's is cheap, rookie. I don't know how much it costs where you are, but it's very inexpensive here. It can be anyways, depending on what you buy. Some of the items are very... If you try to eat healthy from McDonald's, it's going to be expensive. But if you get a burger, it's like $1.25 for a burger. So, you know. And for a 5-year-old child, one burger is going to cost less because you can get the kids' meal. And the kids' meal will come with like apples or fries and a drink. And it's like $2, you know? So, you know. Yeah, if you get a full meal, it can be expensive. But it's like, it's a late night meal before you go to bed after a long trip, you know. It's just like food to tie you over until we can go to the store tomorrow, you know. It's like that kind of food, you know what I mean? Like, you've been driving for hours. Max and I just did this recently when we drove back from Lexington, or not from Lexington, we were driving back from Ohio, from Kings Island, and we'd been on the road for 3.5, 4 hours. I was hungry. I stopped at the Sonic across the street and grabbed some food and came home, you know, because I wanted something good, and I knew we didn't have much here because we purposely didn't go out and buy shit, you know, because we were about to go and not be here for 4 days. So, actually, I think it ended up being 5, because Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So it ended up being about 4.5 days that we weren't going to be here. So we didn't go out and buy new milk or more, like, we didn't bother going out and buying a bunch of fucking food beforehand. So Max wasn't hungry. So I think we still got you something. I don't remember. You know, we just stopped and grabbed something. Fast food is more common and cheaper in the US. Yeah, and it is probably cheaper here than it is in some places. Yeah. We rarely buy full meals from fast food places anyways. Like, when I go to Wendy's, I get a burger by itself and nuggets by itself and a drink. That's what I get. I don't get, like, a meal that has, you know, I miss the 4 for $4. You remember that, Max? You remember the 4 for $4 at Wendy's? That was good shit. 4 items for $4. That was good shit right there. But, yeah. The 4 for $4s were great. Back in the day, man. Ooh, a relevant topic. Yeah, I don't like the fries at Wendy's, so that's one of the reasons why I don't get a meal there, because I don't like the fries, and the fries always just go to waste. So I'll just order a double stack cheeseburger, plain, and either a 4 count of nuggets or a 10 count of nuggets, depending on how hungry I am. So Five Guys is so expensive. We have one down the road from us, and I bought it because I was really craving their fries. And a big juicy burger, and it was so expensive, but the burger was so tasty. They did give me like essentially like 2.5 orders of fries for the price of one. They poured just like a whole order of like a whole like tin of fries into my bag. So it ended up not being worth it, but because they gave me so many extra fries, but I couldn't eat all the extra fries because the burger was so fucking massive. The burger was huge. It's definitely not the type of place you go eat on a regular basis. It's the type of place you're like, I'm feeling like spending a little extra money today. Because, like, the fries are really tasty. They weren't small fries, actually, which I thought they were. They used to serve the, like, skinny fries that they serve at, like the skinny fries that they would serve at, Steak and Shake is what Five Guys used to serve. At least that's what I remember them serving. But that's not what they had here. They had normal fries here, like essentially McDonald's fries, but like thicker. But they were actually really tasty. They were really crunchy, the right kind of crunchy for fries, in my opinion. But yeah. Yes, smalls don't exist in the UK or in the US. So I did get a small fry, but they put like at least 2.5 orders of small fries in my bag because I was the only one there in the store. So yeah, I feel like Five Guys is the place to go if you want like a freshly cooked, really big, juicy burger. If that's what you want, and you're like really craving it, and you want a lot of fucking fries, that's the place to go. But it's not like McDonald's where you can eat at it every other day and not really affect your pocketbook, you know, because it's expensive. It was like $15 for a burger and fries. I can get a burger of the same size and slightly less quality from Sonic. So it's not as good quality. It's not as generally as juicy as the burger at Five Guys, but it's around the same size, if that makes any sense. Yeah. Yeah. Alrighty. Am I the asshole for asking my husband to stay with his family while he's unemployed? My husband, 32, and I, 30, have been married for just over a year now, and things couldn't be rockier. Oh, that's great. I have a good job and make a decent amount of money, whereas my husband made not as much as me. Due to this, and the fact he was living with his parents when we got married, we decided he would move in with me, and I would continue to pay the rent and bills as long as he put money towards other things we may need as a couple. That's fair. My name is the only one on the lease. However, once we got married, he started to cut down on his work hours without saying anything first. He gave the explanation that I made plenty of money for the both of us, so he could just work part-time and do the work around the house while I was the main breadwinner. I was fine with this, a little upset that he had just assumed this would be okay, but I didn't say anything as this felt fair. Okay, if it felt fair to you, that's fine. He still should have talked to you about it. Like, Max knew that I was quitting Kroger. Obviously, everyone did, because you had to put in a 2-week notice, but we discussed it before I did the thing. And also we had 2 weeks to prepare for me being unemployed, but I was fine with this, a little upset that he had just assumed. Yeah, he shouldn't have just assumed, but it felt fair. Okay. Good that she's the only one on the lease, so she's obviously keeps it after the divorce. Yeah, and so she legally can kick him out. So, like, it's her apartment or whatever, because it's her name on the lease. Like, how, like, Max's name is the main name on the lease. Mine is on the lease, but it's not, I'm not listed as, like, the main, what is it called? Like, not benefactor, but, like, there's, like, a person that they contact or whatever. Like, I don't think we're equal on the lease, if that makes any sense. I could be wrong about that, because, I don't know. Like, both our names are on our lease, but I think mine is, like, I'm your roommate, if that makes any sense. I think is how that worked out. I don't know if that affects anything, but both of our names are on the lease. Yeah, I'm listed as the roommate, but my name is still on the lease, just as roommate. But it seems like it's a good situation here that her name is the only one on the lease, since she makes way more money than he does, and seems to be and since he was still living with his parents when they got married. See, I'm sorry, but if you're not living with your parents for, like, some extreme reason at 30, I'm not marrying you. I'm sorry. That's a red flag for me. You know, like, you're 30 years old, and you're 32 years old. He's 32 years old, and you're still living with your parents. Red flag. It's a red flag for me. It's one thing if you're still living with your parents because you've got 2-3 kids. That's one thing. And you needed a little bit cheaper rent because you've got a lot of kids. That's kind of one thing. Or if you've like just gotten laid off or something and had to move that back in with your parents. But he's 32 and was living with his parents when they got married. I feel like that'd be a deal breaker for me. Like, we're not getting married until you're able to afford to not live with your parents. You know what I mean? You know? Okay. He did do some work around the house initially, but spent the majority of his time going out to the bar, playing video games, etc., to the point where I was the one both working and doing the cooking, cleaning, and other household chores. Not okay. My husband told me he was laid off 2 months ago for reasons out of his control. I assumed in this time that he would begin job hunting, and I began to pay for everything. While I do earn a decent amount of money, it's not to the point where I can pay for rent, bills, groceries, insurance, contribute to emergency savings, and finance a lifestyle my husband had started indulging in. I began paying for his nights out, subbing him money for trips to look for work, etc., all while I was under the assumption he would be searching for a new job, at least to finance his hobbies. About a week ago, I asked him how the job hunt was going, and he told me that he didn't feel like it was worth it. He said to me that he was comfortable with what we had now, and I wasn't happy, to say the least. Yeah, that's not okay. I confronted him about how I was doing everything to finance and care for our household, while he sat around and played video games. I was being an ass here, I'll admit. And during this argument, no, I don't think you were being an ass. You're being completely correct. I look through this through the lens of the situation Max and I are in. If I wasn't laid off, I quit my job. I wasn't laid off from my job. I chose to leave. I didn't intend to stay unemployed for 6 months, but I did choose to leave. But I have also actively been job hunting for around 4 months. I've been actively looking for jobs that I think I might like. And, you know, like, I've been actively searching for a job that I want and think I'll enjoy and will still pay me the amount of money I feel I deserve. You know what I mean? And, like, he's just assuming she's going to pay for everything forever, whereas I plan to pay Max back for any and all of the money that I owe them. So, you know, very different situations. I also have a job now, so that's nice. I can't start it yet, but I have a job. Yeah, you should only be living with parents at that age if your parents need help due to disabilities, etc., or if you need help due to disabilities, and etc. Like, if you can't work because you're disabled and so you live at home with your parents, that's one thing, you know what I mean? Like, you are, I don't know, have really bad cerebral palsy or something and you can't work. You know, something like that. And your partner is aware of that, and that they're aware of that's why you're living at home, and they're aware that they're going to have to take care of you and pay for you and all that stuff. That's one thing, but this is definitely not that. So, you know. Yeah, or if you're living with them because they need help. That's also an acceptable reason to be at home with your parents, is if they're old and or they're disabled and they need extra help or something like that. You're not living with them because they're helping pay for your living. You're living with them because you're helping them, you know. Move your money to an account in your name and cut them off. Exactly. Exactly. And if I was doing this shit, I would expect Max to do the exact same shit to me. Cut me off and not allow me to not pay rent. You know what I mean? Like, while he sat around and played video games, I was being an ass here, I'll admit, and during this argument, he let slip that he'd actually quit and never looked for another job. Oh, so he wasn't laid off. Yeah, divorce. Serve him some divorce papers, honey. I was furious that he had lied to me and told him that I didn't want him in my home. Fast forward to now, my in-laws are understanding to an extent, but are calling me an asshole for not wanting him to come back home until he gets a job. I have seen my husband in this time, but never in our home, always out somewhere. I no longer pay for everything, and his attitude towards me is making me question our entire relationship. Yeah, honey, you need to leave him. Dump him. Dump his ass. Dump him. No, you need to leave him. Not the asshole. Good grief, the amount of marinara here is ridiculous. He cut down his hours without discussing it. He quit his job and lied about it. He spent his time partying with his buddies and having you foot the bill. He lied about job searching, and he won't help keep up the household. Sounds like only seeing him in passing is best. Don't let him back in the house unless you just want a mooch. Lazy roommate that won't pay for rent. 6. His trips to look for work are sus as hell. Yeah. Divorce? I call divorce. Divorce. I need a divorce button. Divorce. In the bin. Hold on, I have that somewhere. I don't know how loud this is going to be. Be warned. If it opens. It's not opening. Okay, try it again. Usually takes 2 attempts. So. Oh, I forgot it won't play because I recorded it on... Oh my god. A divorce emote? I don't know. What would that look like? What would a divorce emote look like? I wish it were easy in my country. What do you mean, like divorce? Like you wish divorce were easy in your country? Divorce isn't easy here. It's probably easier here than a lot of places, but it's not easy here either. It probably will be in her situation, because any divorce court will look at this and go, oh yeah, no, divorce him. You know, like, any divorce judge is going to be like, oh yeah, no, leave his ass. Yeah. Don't cave. Keep questioning. Yep. He's calling him an asshole for for doing this to him. Okay, but what does he call what he's doing to you? If the situation were reversed and he was here, he'd be calling you a gold digger. Divorce his ass before you end up stuck with him and his family for 18 years at minimum. And end up having to pay alimony. Don't have a child with him either. I have friends who are 30 and still live with their parents. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who still live with their parents, but, like, because they're poor. But, like, you know, it doesn't seem that's his issue here. His issue isn't that he can't get a job, you know, or that his job doesn't pay any fucking money, or that his partner is expecting way more from him than he can provide. No, she was very fine with him taking less hours and making up for that by doing the household chores and everything. She was very accommodating, and he took advantage of that. And so, drop him. I'm 25. I want to move out. Once I have had this next job for a while, I will. Plus, get a solid knowledge on this inflation crap. Yeah, it's a lot easier to move out, I think, if you can find a roommate to live with. Because the more roommates you have, the cheaper rent is going to be. So if you can't move out because you're really fucking poor, go find a bunch of other really fucking poor people to live with, and then y'all, like, the 4 of you can, like, live in an apartment together and split that rent. That's my suggestion to all the poor folk out there, myself included, who can't afford to live on their own. Find other people who also can't afford to live on their own, and you're good to fucking go, you know? That's gonna be a challenge. To get a job, you need to know a guy that knows a guy. That's true. I got this job because I knew someone. Helps a ton. Oh yeah, absolutely. There's also a lot of like types of jobs where it's very word of mouth type situation. Hold on. I'm trying to get this audio. That's fun. Film is very much like a word of mouth type job. Like it's a lot easier to get jobs if you know a guy who knows a guy who knows you're good at work. So it's all based on a reputation. Exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, here, like, I mean, so let me tell you my application process for Amazon. I applied. I got the job. What did I have to attach a resume to my application? No, I did not. They asked, did I have a proper interview where I talked to a human person? No, I didn't. My interview was showing up, giving them my ID, taking a drug test, and leaving. That was my interview. So that's usually a very sussy thing. I would not recommend working for a company that does that to you. Yeah, if you're breathing, you can come work, basically. I generally would not recommend working for a place like that, but it's Amazon, and I already know what I'm getting myself into. I know what the working conditions are for Amazon. I've heard more than enough about, especially the specific job I'm getting at Amazon. I'm going to be a picker, so I'm going to be walking all day, every day, and exhausting myself and having to keep up with a pace that's unreasonable. I'm completely aware of what I'm getting myself into, but if you don't know the specifics of the job you're applying for, and this is how they go about it, I would not recommend taking that job because that's super sus. They literally didn't even ask me about my prior job experience. So I don't have particularly relevant job experience because I've never done a warehouse job before, but I do have loyalty experience and stuff like that. Also, welcome Eden. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Getting into IT part of Amazon is super competitive though. I won't bother for that reason. They only want the best. Oh yeah. I'm sure the higher up levels are more competitive, but for bottom tier workers, they don't give a fuck. Are you able-bodied? Can you come in? What shift can you work? We'll see you then. You know, like, especially since I applied for a weekend job, a weekend shift, they'll take anyone for that weekend shift because very few people will give up their weekends for work, you know, like, especially the whole fucking weekend. Max and I still have to figure out how we're going to do She-Hulk after I start my job because it's Thursday nights, Friday nights, Saturday nights. So I don't know when we're going to have time to, like, record and edit and all that. I think editing streams will be off the table or moved to like Sunday night or Mondays, I mean, because it's not going to be able to happen then. Yeah, I'm just going to have to delay it. We'll probably I want to be able to get it recorded as soon as possible because I don't want to risk like coming across spoilers or anything. But that's something Max and I have to work on together in terms of figuring out how it's going to work.
Immediately stab, behead. Behead in the bin.
Okay. I don't know why this recorded it like this. It should have recorded it the other way around, but IT job super competitive. I wish I didn't study computer science in school. See, studying computer science pretty much anywhere else in the world is like your best bet for making money because IT makes quite a lot of money if you're good at what you do.
In the bin, in the bin, in the bin, into the bin. Today, otherwise I'll throw my neck out. Completely out, girls. In the bin. So during the last episode,
I've got a variety.
Get in the bin. Take it.
Was this the one I already had in here? So I went through some of Luxaria's videos and pulled out a few in the bin options.
Get in the bin. Take it. Immediately stab, behead.
Oh, I did already have this one imported. Why did it let me import it again? That's weird.
Vile, and I'm glad that she's in the bin. In the bin, girls. Yeah, awful, awful. You are.
So I've got a number of in the bin options that are very good. I quite like behead in the bin.
Behead in the bin.
Someone else. I knew it for months.
In the bin, in the bin, in the bin, into the bin.
That's what needs to happen to this husband in this Am I the Asshole post. In the bin. In the bin. In the yard. Out. Out. Get rid of him. You deserve better. Get him out. What is this? Oh, yeah. Max, did I ever show you this? I don't think I ever showed you this video. I can't remember if I showed you this. Abort Jesus, Planned Parenthood, the answer. Very good. It's very good. Abort Jesus, Planned Parenthood, the answer. Good quality shit right there. I'll eventually make that into a button because it's going to be necessary for a lot of these Am I the Asshole posts. Having an in the bin button. To anyone saying divorce isn't the answer here, I strongly disagree. He lied to you about quitting in order to manipulate you into financing him fully. Any adult knows you don't make decisions like that without at least consulting your spouse. It'd be one thing if he quit and then told you right away, but he purposely constructed a lie to guide you to acceptance of his desire to not work. He knew he should have discussed it with you, but chose manipulation instead. It is a dangerous foundation for a marriage. What else does or has he lied about to get his way? Being passively controlling is still a removal of your free will. Leave. You may want to seek an annulment instead of a divorce as to avoid him benefiting from you financially via divorce. Grounds for annulment seem to vary by state. Fraud may be grounds. Do not let him move back in. This could hurt your case for annulment. I'm not a lawyer, just did some research. He's not a stay-at-home spouse. Bro literally tried to play a slow fade into being a stay-at-home spouse through lies and manipulation. Exactly. It seemed like she was pretty much fine with him being a stay-at-home spouse. And by stay-at-home spouse, I mean him working pretty low hours, but taking care of all the housework and everything like that. He was fine with that. What slide game did you have? What do you mean? What you talking about, Jimmy? I know what you're talking about. Born a good kid, yeah. Oh, the earning game? The app? Missed play? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, a stay-at-home spouse suggests to take care of the home. He just wants to be a boy toy getting supported by a sugar mama, who also does the dishes and cooks for him. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of games. You can download a lot of games for Misplay. What do you mean? I've got like... How many do I have downloaded for Misplay? I've got quite a lot downloaded for Misplay. I have 8 different games downloaded for Misplay. So... Now that I've accidentally worked 9 hours, I'm getting off work. Oh, nice. I've got Solitaire Dragons, Spider Solitaire, Scrabble Go, Family Island, Doomsday, Yahtzee, Coin Master, and Evermerge. The ones I play regularly are Coin Master, Evermerge, Yahtzee, Scrabble. Those are the ones I play on a regular basis that I like actually keep up with. Max, your package is shipped and delivery is arriving tomorrow. I know it's your package because I have not ordered anything in a very long time. For obvious reasons. I can't get Evermerge. Oof. Well, the island one... Family Island is really similar to Evermerge. It's not the exact same thing, but it's pretty similar. How long have we been live? An hour and a half? Not bad. Max and I need to go to the store today, but I'm not sure when we want to do that. Max, I don't know if you want to just come in here or if you want to talk through the text, but I imagine it'd be faster for you to come in here because you're usually on a delay, so. It's one of the reasons I chose Reddit today, because A, I was too tired to play a game, B, I didn't feel like playing the quarry, and C, I needed to be able to end whenever I wanted so that Max and I could go shopping. But I don't know if we want to do that right now, if I can keep going. You know, I'm not sure when we want to go shopping. Like, I don't know if Max is going to go do yoga or what, so, you know. God, moving is difficult. We will wait for Max. I'll obviously keep y'all updated on what we're doing tomorrow, but I really need to clean this thing. It's gross. It has like dust and shit on it. I was gonna say something. Don't remember what it was. Oh, well, actually, this isn't what I was gonna say. You'll do it later? What does that mean? You'll do yoga later? No, you won't. What do you mean you'll do it later? What does that mean? I thought you said you were going to come in here.
You're so fucking impatient. Can I just pee?
Oh, I didn't know you were peeing. I thought you were still at your desk. I thought you were still at your desk. I didn't know you were peeing. I assume they were in the process of shutting down their computer and everything because the give me a sec thing came not long after the, oh, I've been at work for 9 hours. Let me stop that shit.
Guest star has arrived.
I was like, why are you closing the door? The out of frame special guest star, yes.
Yes, the out of frame special guest star. I don't like being in frame.
Mm.
I like being out of frame.
Mm. How behind are we on there? What's up on the screen?
Like 5 seconds?
5 seconds? That's not bad.
Yeah.
The mythical voice.
7, 8 seconds behind. But that's probably just my phone. My phone is really bad about delays. Oh, my phone's gonna die.
Oh, well, you should probably plug it in then.
It's at 13%. It's fine. I won't die if my phone does.
I always forget how farty that chair is.
Mm-hmm.
They should be able to hear it.
Let me see.
Especially if I pause the music. Lean all the way back. It's a very loud chair. It's like a cloth chair, one of the circle ones, so...
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah. With the music pause, you can hear it very clearly, I'm sure.
A substantial commotion.
Oh, yes. Indeed. My phone is dead by 5 p.m. if I took it off charge at 7:30 a.m. And that's fair. That's a pretty long time, especially if, I mean, if you're using it during that time, of course. If you're not using it during that time, that's terrible battery. So.
Yeah, I've been watching streams since 9 a.m. So, because I hopped to a couple different gamers before I came in here. I got bored of the one that I was watching before.
So you came to me instead.
Mm-hmm.
Woo.
Yeah, I mean they were speedrunning, but they'd also never speedrun before, so it was very much like starts and stops. So
I feel that.
started getting bored.
I feel that.
Patient.
I feel that. As a new speedrunner myself, I feel that. Also, I don't think I could just like pick a game and speedrun it. It'd have to be a game like I actually really like. Like that's the only reason I've been speedrunning Stray is I really like the game. And the more I like grow away from the game, in terms of interest, the less I want to speedrun it. So, you know.
Yeah. I mean it was Security Breach, and I feel like people are ride or die for Security Breach at this point.
Yeah. Whereas like what is his name? I just forgot the guy who does Zelda all the time. Point Crow.
Yeah.
Whereas Point Crow's been playing Zelda for like 4 years.
Yeah.
And he's just not tired of it. And I'm like, I'm not like, I didn't get tired of it, but I beat it. And got all of like the things, you know. And then I found other games I was more interested in. And I don't think I'll ever go back to Breath of the Wild. I have no interest in going back to it, you know. Speedrun Quarry, oh my god. I'd rather shoot myself. I'll go back and speedrun Until Dawn. That'd be fun. Even though the speedrun takes 4 fucking hours. That's why I never did it, so... He used mods to make it fresh. Yeah, but he's only started using mods fairly recently, like in the past year or so. The mods and stuff have really, like, improved and gotten more, like, intricate. Like, they have the multiplayer mod now, which he's been using a lot lately. Which is definitely breathed. It's breathed new life into Breath of the Wild. Yeah. No more speedruns. Wiki doesn't like my speedruns. I've been speedrunning offline because because they take an hour and a half, so and I don't want to just be sitting here playing a game by myself silently in the dark at 2 a.m. So instead, I just play them offline and watch stuff on my phone at the same time. Yeah, I feel like longer speedruns can definitely get boring, but I feel like the ones that take like 10 minutes to complete and you can do them 40 times, in a stream, like, like that's not, I feel like that gets less boring because you've got quite a lot of time, like quite a lot of different times you can do it. Like the Poppy Playtime speedrun, for example, like you get like not even 2 minutes into it and you hit a moment where like, if I fail this, I have to reset. I feel like it might have been fun to have watched me try to get the one of the trophies that I got. You have to, that first chase scene in Stray, where you're running from the Zerks the first time you meet them, and you're running from them. There's a trophy you can get where you make it through that section without having any of them jump on you, and that took me about an hour to complete. So not too bad. Honestly, I expected it to take longer, but but essentially it'd be, if they jumped on me, I just reset, and it would take me back to the beginning of the run, of the like running portion. So I told Max, I was like, I'm pretty sure they did that on purpose since they made that a trophy. They purposefully made a cutscene at the beginning that would autosave and essentially be a checkpoint, so you didn't have to replay all of Dead End to get to that point, because it's like the end of Dead End. It's the end of that chapter, essentially. So that was kind of fun. I did that. I was messaging in Discord when I was getting those trophies, so yeah. I tried to do a speedrun the other night, but I ended up fucking it up by accidentally stopping the timer without realizing, so... And I was, like, over halfway through. And so I had to scrap it because I'd been playing through the sewers without the timer running. I was, like, halfway through sewers when I realized. I was so sad. And I had to quit because I was getting angry. And I don't want to play it while I'm angry, because it's not meant to make me angry. It's meant to be fun. So I always stop when I start to get too frustrated or annoyed. I also died in a stupid place again. The same stupid place I died in last time. A place that I did not die during in my initial run, in my first playthrough of the fucking game. I didn't die there. Unacceptable behavior. Okay. So, when do you want to go shopping? Yeah. Whenever. That's not helpful.
I mean, you could at least finish the post.
I haven't started the post, so...
Oh, I thought we did finish the last post.
No, we did.
Oh, okay.
We've only been live for an hour and a half, and most of it's been just me talking, so... Although...
We're gonna be live until, like, what time is it?
5. It's 5:09.
I don't know, but I mean, you can be live a little while longer. It doesn't really matter.
Because I don't know how long shopping is going to take, because we have quite a lot of things to...
Still couldn't take more than an hour.
Yeah.
So, we can.
Oh, another first-time viewer. Hello. Are you going to follow and then leave as well, like the last person did?
Hello there.
Hello, Graceland. Hello.
I mean, you could at least stream until like 5:30 or something.
Oh, they followed. Next step is to hightail it out of here before saying anything else in chat, like the last person did. Oh, no, they said something else. Amazing. Amazing. Hello. I'm doing all right. How are you? Thank you for sticking around and saying something else in chat other than hi. Because the Eden from earlier popped in and said hi, followed, and then left.
I mean, they followed though. So,
Yeah.
you know.
But sometimes those are bots that do that, so... like, I've had bots come in, follow, and then fuck off, so... And having a bot follow is not very helpful, so... followers who follow and then never come back aren't exactly helpful to the algorithm or anything. We're kind of doing Am I the Asshole? We're kind of doing just chatting about random shit. Sometimes related to the post, sometimes not. But, yeah. Today we're just chatting for the most part.
Actually, I should probably not pick up my phone to read, because if I read, then I read ahead. Because I read faster than you talk. Because most people read.
Most people read faster in their head than they talk. I also read faster in my head than I talk out loud, because I can't fucking read. So, I'm so bad at reading aloud. I really need the practice. You spent a lot of your childhood reading aloud, though, so you're really good at reading aloud. I feel like reading through Reddit posts would be a fucking breeze for you, so... but I did not spend a lot of my childhood reading or reading aloud, so... I spent more of it reading, but not very much reading aloud. And reading aloud was always the worst option in school, because, like, they'd, like, call on you to read out loud, and I'd be like, please just kill me instead, you know? Max is just criticizing the post at the same time, yeah.
Yeah, because I can't not read it for, like, grammar.
Yeah.
So, well, I have to...
Well, you're gonna love one of the typos in this one, so...
I have to put that aside, because, like,
Thanks,
if you
Graceland.
can tell the meaning, then that's what matters.
Affiliated is nice, but not when no one shows up to your streams. I've been affiliate for, like, what, 2 years now? It's been a while. Because I got affiliate almost immediately, because I had my YouTube people come over and follow, so I got it pretty quickly, because I didn't just start on Twitch. I had a fairly small but decent YouTube channel, people who were regularly there on the YouTube channel at the time, so a lot of them came over here, and got my follower count up high enough that I could apply for affiliate, and since then it has very much slowed in terms of growth. I still like doing it, though, which is why I'm here. Partially because I don't know what I would do with my free time if I didn't, but, you know. Like, I've contemplated, like, stopping YouTube and stopping streaming because I don't get any money or anything off of it at this point. And sometimes it gets really frustrating, especially YouTube. Streaming is always fun, but YouTube, it gets frustrating sometimes. But then I'm like, what would I do with all of that free time? You know, like...
You gotta have something to do.
Like, you know... Oh, yeah, you have to apply for affiliate, yeah. And you have to meet a bunch of, like... You have to stream for a certain amount of time with a certain amount of people there. You have to have a certain number of followers in order to qualify for affiliate. I don't have You don't have emotes or sub badges yet? Not really, no.
You should make emotes. Emotes are fun.
I have some emotes. Do I not have emotes on here? Because I know I do on Discord.
I've not seen emotes on here.
Oh, I don't know how to add emotes, to be completely honest with you. I've never looked into it because there's not enough subs. There's like 2 subscribers to my channel, so there's not really...
I think you can do follower emotes, though.
You can? Okay.
Yeah, I've been on channels where they have follower emotes and sub emotes, so you could at least do follower emotes, because I love...
I do need to update the emotes in the Discord, because they're all old me. Before I came out and before I cut my hair and all that stuff. So they're all very clearly old Nico, old lady Nico. So, lol, old lady. I'm old man Nico now. So,
You are young man Nico.
I'm an old man in every way but my face. So,
I mean, I have old person eyes now. So
you do. You've had old person eyes, but they're now confirmed old person eyes.
Yes, confirmed old person eyes.
Yeah.
I thought I had old person bones. I don't, but I do have old person eyes. So.
Gotta stick with the times. Yeah, I should probably add emotes and stuff. That might help people subscribe, but I don't think people really like subscribe to Twitch for the emotes. You know, like they subscribe to Twitch for the person, and then they get emotes as like a bonus. You know. Also, they subscribe to Twitch to not have to watch ads.
Yeah,
That's why I
ads-
subscribe to YouTube Premium, so I don't have to watch ads.
Ads, I like the person, but it's nice to have access to the emotes because you see people spamming the emotes in chat, and you're like, I want access to the sus emote.
Yeah.
I want access to the oak emote.
I could definitely work on that sometime because I've already got emotes over on Discord, and I doubt it's too difficult to import them into Twitch. So, it will look dope, but some cool stuff. Yeah, I think the reason I don't have very many new emotes is I'm not as reactive these days. You should have seen my face last night while I was watching Invincible. Jimmy, I don't think you would like that show. It is very gory. There's a lot of blood and a lot of death and a lot of violence.
Oh, that's right. Jimmy doesn't like gore.
Yeah, it's a lot. And it's like not like subtle gore. It's like we watch someone get their head crushed in worse than a certain character in Game of Thrones. If you know, you know.
Yeah, that was pretty awful.
It was worse than that. It is animated, so it didn't feel as bad because obviously Game of Thrones is live action, but it was still very much like, oh my god, you know. It's also why I didn't watch The Boys. It's very much The Boys, and like they show superheroes and like what they can do if they go bad, you know. And that's very much what The Boys is about. Is like superheroes. You're like mean, you know. Like, it like what was it? Brightburn? Is that what it was? Where it was like this kid that had all the Superman powers but was really evil and like demonic or whatever. It was a very bad film, but it was also fun to watch him destroy things and scare the shit out of Elizabeth Banks. So that was, that was the appeal of the film for me, was Elizabeth Banks was in it. But I feel like we need an evil Superman movie, like just as like a one-off, because like there are comics where he's purposefully evil, like a Earth X type Superman, where he's like a Nazi and evil and destroys things. Because watching the finale of the show, I'm not going to spoil who is the evil person in the show. If you know anything about the show, you probably already know because it's everywhere. But it is like the final episode. So many humans die. Like an uncountable amount of people die in a very short period of time because the person goes evil and is like full on just murdering people in mass. And it's like, oh my god, like thank god Superman's not evil, because we'd all be fucked. Because no one in Invincible has the same powers as Superman. Like most of them can fly, some of them have super strength, like a lot of them have like some of the Superman powers, but none of them have all of Superman's powers, and it's like this level of destruction from someone who doesn't even have all of Superman's powers. Can you imagine if Superman actually decided he hated this place? It would take him like a day to end the planet. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind things like NCIS because it usually already happened, but watching it happen isn't my favorite. Yeah, The Boys is on my list to watch next. I don't know when I'm going to get to that. Maybe next week I'll start watching it, because I did promise I would record my reaction to The Boys. So that's why I chose not to watch it last night, because I didn't feel like setting up to record. But I do want to watch The Boys, and Max has given me the green light to watch it on my own, so, because Max just doesn't know when they'll get around to want to watch it, so,
Yeah, I mean, I am not the biggest, like, I don't seek out superhero shows on purpose. I like watching them, but I don't seek them out on purpose, so I don't know when I'm gonna want to just watch one for no reason.
Well, I think The Boys is very different from your standard superhero show, because the main characters, from my knowledge, at least in the first season, the main characters aren't the superheroes, because the superheroes aren't really seen as heroes by a lot of the, like, normal people, because, like the trailer that shows a speedster obliterate someone's body by running through them, like, so, you don't really seek out anything, you just rewatch. That's what Jimmy said.
I mean, I've watched some new things lately. Like, I found a couple new shows that are, like, on British TV, on Netflix.
And I also force you to watch things you've not seen before, so.
Yes, you do also, but I just don't watch a lot of television. I mostly just watch YouTube and Twitch, really, so.
And rewatch YouTube videos.
Yeah, sometimes I rewatch YouTube videos.
Your phone is crying out for help,
Oh, yeah, it's on 10%. Lol. But, yeah, I mostly watch YouTube and Twitch.
Also, we've decided to finish season 5 of Walking Dead for Max Reacts, and then watch Legion to kind of give us a break from Walking Dead, and then come back to Walking Dead after we watch all of Legion. So, because if we try to do one a week, or one of each a week, we'll never fucking finish Legion. So, plus we would just do it now, but we don't want to like stop in the middle of the season, so.
Can you believe we've been doing Max Reacts for over 2 years?
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's fucking bonkers. Baymax, did you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Rookie, have you paid any attention to my channel?
Yes, we've watched all of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and it's on Patreon.
Yeah. Max has watched, I believe, season 3 and on is what we have for you.
We went back and rewatched season 1 and 2.
We did?
Yep.
When the fuck did we do that?
Confident. Once we had finished it, we went back and rewatched seasons 1 and 2 so that we had the whole set.
Did we? That sounds familiar, but my brain is saying that's wrong.
Yeah, we did that, and we've also watched Agent Carter as
Yes,
well,
we did watch Agent Carter as well.
Both of those are on Patreon. You should promo that in the YouTube videos that we've watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
In the Marvel ones, yeah.
Yeah. Just fun.
Still can't believe you didn't start recording from halfway through season 1. I didn't know if Max would be okay with me recording them at that point in time.
I wasn't okay with that at the time.
Yeah.
Because that was like 2019.
Yeah, but by the time, after seeing Max's reaction to what happens at the end of season 2 with a certain someone who gets swept away to a certain place, if you know, you know, I was like, no, and I mentioned it to y'all, you were like, I need to see that, and I was like, I agree, and then I was like, Max, you need to do this, and Max was like, I guess.
My early reactions are very cringe. I got better. I got better as time went on. But, you know, I think that's probably how it goes with everyone.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're not... Most people... Like, my early ones are also pretty cringe. Partially because I'm a girl and have braces. And I'm way too close to the camera. But it's definitely a... Like, reacting isn't as easy as people make it seem. Like, you have to know when to talk, when to not, when to express the thoughts in your head, and when to not, when what you're thinking is actually relevant and important, especially if you have ADHD like myself and are thinking about things that are relevant to the thing you're watching right now. Now Max is the main focus on YouTube, to be honest. Ricky said, I remember back when you started posting your React videos, and that's how I found you. Yeah. Good old Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Ugh, I miss those days. Ugh. S.H.I.E.L.D. was such a good show, and it brought in so many views. It was so nice.
Well, now we have She-Hulk.
Several of my S.H.I.E.L.D. videos have 20,000 views on them. I couldn't pull those numbers today if I showed my ass. You know what I mean? Like, not that anyone wants to see my ass, but like, I could blow up my home and still not get that many views. S.H.I.E.L.D. was a magical time for a number of reasons, but now Max is the main focus on YouTube. Oh yeah, the glorious days of S.H.I.E.L.D. indeed. I do wish these Marvel shows were as good as S.H.I.E.L.D., but they just aren't. Though I did really love the pilot of She-Hulk. It was really good. And I'm looking forward to this week's and next week's and the weeks after episodes. Even though getting them watched are going to be a pain in the ass because they decided to release a show on fucking Thursdays just to fuck with me. If they were releasing them on Wednesdays, it wouldn't be an issue getting them out. It would not be difficult at all because we would watch them on Wednesdays. I'd get them exported. I'd start the editing overnight, and then I'd finish it during your editing stream on Thursday before I go to work. It wouldn't be difficult at all. But no, they have to fucking release a show on Thursdays.
I can
Disrespectful.
make my standing appointment on Thursdays and make it work. So we can make it work.
Yeah. Also, you could like take a 2-hour break, go to therapy, come back, work for a little bit, take a break. We watch She-Hulk. You go back to work.
It takes a 2-hour break to go to therapy.
Oh, true. Because you have to actually physically go there now instead of just call in from here, which is dumb. I want Untold Reacts to get back to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They had to take a medical break, but not sure if they're coming back.
That sucks.
Yeah. Medical breaks are not fun. I don't take them often, but when I do, it's, you know, it's bad. If I'm taking a break because I feel like shit, you know I feel like shit. Because I don't just casually, like, call out of streams, even though I know it's going to be, like, Jimmy and maybe one other person there. Like, I don't just call out of streams for no reason. Like, sometimes I will because I wake up and I'm like, I am too tired to move, you know, because I went to bed late or had a really long day the day before or something. But when I'm like, I have a headache, I mean, my head feels like it's exploding because someone is pummeling it from the inside. Like, I don't just call out because I have a casual headache, you know? I'm the same way with work. Like, I don't call out from work unless I am genuinely ill, you know? Like, I am physically incapable of doing the job because I am so ill. Like, it takes a lot for me to call out of work and for this and stuff like that. Let's pick a reason from the really long list. Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to watch The Boys next. Like I said, I'll probably start watching it next week, but I didn't really have a lot on YouTube that I wanted to watch last night, and I was like, oh, I could watch one of the, like, 80 shows that I have on my list to watch, and I was really feeling Invincible, and I watched all of it last night, and it was really good. It was a really fun binge, too. I binged it in about 6 to 7 hours. There's 8 episodes. They're about 45 to 50 minutes apiece. It kept me intrigued the whole time. Like, I only picked up my phone to mark that I had watched the episodes, so... It's been so long watching Nico, I can barely remember the old name. That's the way to do it. It really has been a hot second. It's only been about 1.5 years on YouTube, though.
Yeah, you've been out since...
January 2021.
Correct.
Yeah, on YouTube anyways.
Mm-hmm. It was starting to get kind of obvious, so...
Yeah.
You know.
Only PayPal and old videos reveal the old name. Yeah.
It's unfortunate about PayPal, but they have to take your legal name.
They do, yeah. Oh, I don't know if I don't think you were watching stream when I mentioned it, but I think I might try to change my legal name before we move, since that'll be pretty inexpensive compared to getting top surgery, and we've discussed that I likely won't be able to save up enough money to afford top surgery unless I get a second job.
Worth looking into how easy it is here versus Maryland.
Yeah,
because it might be easier in Maryland since
Well, I've got a Kentucky birth certificate, so don't I have to get it changed in Kentucky?
You have to get the court order in the state that you live in, and then you send that information to the other state. I think. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Because you wouldn't have to go to court in Kentucky. That wouldn't make any sense. Because then I would have to go to court in New York, and I don't live there. So that wouldn't make any sense.
Still haven't watched Miss Marvel. I didn't really like it. Like the first couple episodes were fun, but then I got really annoyed with the pacing. So, but a lot of people like it, so you might like it. I don't know. It just wasn't for me. I didn't vibe. I wanted to like it. I did. I enjoyed the main actress. She was a lot of fun. I think she did a really good job encapsulating the character. But there was a lot of it that I was like, this makes no sense. How did we get here? Oh my god, we met a guy. Hello. Oh, he's dead now. Oh, we're supposed to care? Well, I don't, because we just met him 2 minutes ago. So, like, there was a lot of, like, weird pacing things in it. So that really turned me off of the show, so. Which is disappointing, because most of Phase 4 has been very disappointing, so. Fingers crossed that Phase 5 is better. Because I believe Phase 5 ends with this next movie. Right?
I'm not sure.
I think, yeah, the Black Panther movie, I believe, is the last thing in Phase 4, so. It has representation, but the story and characters just don't make much sense. Exactly. It just feels like crap. Yeah. It's really disappointing to see, because I feel like the Marvel community as a whole kind of feel the same way about Phase 4, and that it's just not very good in comparison to previous phases. And that's, like, not even comparing it to, like, Endgame Infinity War, because that would be unfair. Because you can't reach the hype of Infinity War and Endgame. That took over 10 years to get to that point. It's not fair to compare this new phase. Phase 4 started with Black Widow. The Black Widow movie was the first one in Phase 4.
Which it shouldn't have been. It should have been in Phase 3.
Yeah, it should have come out before fucking Endgame, so.
Yep. It should have come out.
I would have taken it in between Infinity War and Endgame, personally. Like, even that late, I would have taken it, but.
It should have come out when it took place in the timeline.
It should have, yeah.
I don't understand why we're doing a retrospective.
I will never understand why Captain Marvel was the first female-led superhero film in the MCU when we've had Black Widow since day one.
At the least, that spot should have been taken by Black Widow, and then we should have moved the introduction of Captain Marvel up, like, away from now, because she didn't need to be introduced.
No, she wasn't in the movies enough for us to know her backstory. We didn't need to know everything about her. So.
Endgame would have made perfect sense without seeing the movie. So.
Yeah. Because she was barely in it. She showed up for like 2 minutes to beat the shit out of Thanos and then left. So, you know. Phase 2 was okay, but it wasn't amazing, but it was still interesting. The Captain movie was just unfair to Black Widow. It was. Black Widow has been around since Iron Man 2. She was in Iron Man 2, the second fucking film. And assuming Hulk didn't come out in between those two.
Yeah, I think it was Iron Man 1, Hulk, Iron Man 2.
Okay.
But Hulk doesn't count, so Iron Man 2.
Really know. Yeah, I think they were really shitty to Black Widow because we all wanted to know more about her backstory, and they didn't give it to us till after she was dead, and that just really fucked up. So, and will always piss me off because I absolutely love the Black Widow movie. I enjoy it a lot. It's one of the few ones from this phase that I like rewatching. It and Shang-Chi are the only two from this fucking phase that we like to rewatch. Shang-Chi is awesome. And like Shang-Chi is a quality film. Like it's like Black Widow has its holes, but it's fun throughout the whole thing, which is why I like rewatching it. Whereas Shang-Chi is just quality through the whole thing and funny and great. So, but those are the only two from this phase that we like to rewatch and that we have any interest in rewatching. I enjoyed the Thor film, but I have no interest to rewatch it. Same for Multiverse and same for the Spider-Man movie. Eternals was garbage, and I have no desire to rewatch it ever. Even when we do a rewatch of the whole series, if we ever do that ever again, I have no desire to ever rewatch Eternals again.
It's very slow.
It was very slow, but at the same time, we didn't learn shit. So, I really liked Black Widow, though, so... But I would have enjoyed it more if we'd gotten to see it before she was fucking dead. Because there were no stakes, because we knew she wasn't going to fucking die. Obviously, she wouldn't die in it anyways, but, like, there would at least be that possibility that she might die in it, you know? But no, they had to put it out after Endgame, because they're cunts. But they made it seem like Captain Marvel would be essential viewing for Endgame, just so people would watch it. Yeah, it wasn't, which is really fucking annoying. Like, no hate towards Brie. I like Brie as Captain Marvel. I think she does a good job, but we didn't need to know her backstory. Like, I feel like seeing Nick Fury call for her at the end of Infinity War was fine, and that was great for the people who knew what the symbol meant, but we didn't need to know what the symbol meant, if that makes any sense. Like, we would have figured it out in Endgame, because when she shows up in her suit, we were like, oh, hello, who are you? This is Captain Marvel. She can do whatever she wants, because she's invincible. So, like, you know, we didn't really need to know her backstory, in my opinion, that early. But, you know. Very disappointing, but I feel like they just, after losing so many of their main people that they've had for so many years, I feel like they needed some time to get back on their feet. Oh, you really like Eternals? Well, sorry for you, but I hated Eternals.
It was really gorgeous, and
it was so pretty.
Promising.
It was so pretty.
But it felt really slow to me.
The pacing and writing were really bad, in my opinion, so.
It also just felt really disjointed from the rest of the MCU. So
because they had to explain away why they weren't there to help with Thanos.
Yeah.
And it was a really stupid excuse as well.
I don't know. The movie just didn't give me a reason to, like understand how they fit in, I guess. It didn't really give me a reason to root for them.
Yeah. Have you read the Eternals comic yet? I know I bought it and never got around to reading it,
no,
but
I haven't.
It's Moon Knight. Moon Knight's the one you've read. It wasn't a Marvel movie in my opinion, but because of that, I didn't watch it. Yeah, it was gorgeous. I think the CG was amazing. It was absolutely beautiful to look at, and that's where my compliments end. The acting was good, though. The acting was also good. The acting wasn't bad for the majority of the film.
It's just the pacing.
Yeah, but it's hard to act for, like, do good acting with some of the lines that they were written. Also, Icarus flying into the sun was, like, really funny.
I think it was well cast, like, the effects was good, cinematography was good, I think directing was fair, but I just think the writing failed them.
Yes.
And I think perhaps the editing, which happened because of the writing and the directing, still kind of failed them too.
I think
the pacing was weird.
I knew from the first moment of the film this was not going to be as good as I thought it was going to be, because they opened with a fucking title crawl.
Oh, the title crawl, yeah.
A title crawl, which they then had footage with what's-her-face explaining it.
Yeah, they literally explained all the information we got in the title crawl.
And I was like, why are we reading? This isn't Star Wars. Why are we reading? The only reason we still have a title crawl in Star Wars is because it's iconic. That's the only reason we still have a title crawl. That's the only reason we allow there to be a title crawl for Star Wars. That's it.
I just feel like title crawls are crutches.
It was designed to be an Oscar movie. Did it even win anything? I don't even think it did. It shouldn't have.
I don't even think it was nominated.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been. It was pretty. That's where it ended. What about Marvel Defenders? Is that the
Is that the bad show?
was that the
Everyone hated
no, I think that was the one with all the Netflix ones together, right? That's what that one was?
Inhumans was the bad one, right?
Yes, Inhumans was the garbage one that we all ignore because it was trash. And that was canceled after a few episodes. So right, Defenders was the Netflix crossover, right? Yes, it was. I only watched it because Jessica Jones was in it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah.
Oh, we also watched Jessica Jones.
We also watched Jessica Jones, which was great. And they're filming the Orphan Black sequel now. And Kristen Ritter is the main character in that. I don't know if she's playing clones or not. I don't know what the story. We don't know. We don't have any idea what the storyline is yet. They've not released any of that information. But there's like they're filming and there's like behind the scenes stuff of Kristen Ritter, and I'm like, I can't see anything about Jessica Jones. But like Kristen Ritter is in the Orphan Black universe, and Tatiana is in the Marvel universe now, and I'm like, oh my god, we could end up with like, because it's possible Jessica Jones could show up in Hulk in the She-Hulk show, and then we'll have two Orphan Black people together for the first time, because Tatiana didn't even know about the sequel, so wow. I don't think they plan on having her show up because it's not. It just takes place in the same universe essentially.
So a different clone.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a different clone or what, but because again I don't know anything about it. They've just released that it's not, that we may not see any of Tatiana's clones in the show. It's just in the same universe, made by the same people. So, but Iron Fist. Oh my god. Don't get me started on Iron Fist. I know he's like a beloved character in the comics, but he shouldn't be anymore. Iron Fist was such a bad show. It takes a lot for me to stop watching a show like Iron Fist. Like, stop watching a show that's dark and has action. It takes so much to make me stop watching a show like that before season 1 ended. But I couldn't do it. It was so bad. It was genuinely awful, and I say that in a completely unbiased way. It was horrid. The only good part of that show was the girl. I don't remember her name, but she was the only part of that show that was any good at all. The only one with any good acting, the only one who was good at the action, the only one that made any fucking sense. Iron Fist was just a terrible show. Genuinely awful. All I remember was a dojo, I think.
My phone is dying.
That's fine. I never finished, I mentioned this in my She-Hulk reaction, but I never finished Daredevil. I know I should probably go back and do that, but they're kind of rebooting him, so I don't know if I want to go back and rewatch it, if they're going to, like, kind of change any of his backstory at all. I don't know if they're going to do that with the new, like, Disney Plus reboot. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but if it's, like, a continuation of the old story, I'll probably go back and watch it. But if it's not going to be a continuation and kind of going to be a reboot, then I probably won't bother. I still might go back and watch it because I know I've heard a lot of good things about it, of course. Like, Daredevil is, I believe, the highest rated of all of the Netflix Marvel shows. But Jessica Jones is the only one I've watched all the way through. I never started Luke Cage because I had no interest, to be completely honest with you. And I never started, what was the other one? What's his name? The Punisher. I never started Punisher either, just because by the time the Punisher came out, I was kind of out of my Netflix Marvel phase, so I might go back and watch Punisher sometime because I like dark, gritty, violent shows, but the actor who plays him plays Shane in Walking Dead, so that really turned me off from it for a while. But I watched the pilot and was done. Of Iron Fist, yeah. Iron Fist was so bad. Is he white in the comics? I can't remember. Is he white in the comics? Luke's powers? Yeah, he's just invulnerable. It's not very exciting. Probably not, no. I mean, I think, isn't he a bit too violent for what they prefer? Like, isn't he like Deadpool levels of violent in the comics? I've also not heard of anything about him being moved over. Unlike Jessica Jones and Daredevil, I've heard about them both being moved over to Disney Plus and, like, continued. Obviously, they're all over on Disney Plus now, but, like, they're the only ones I've heard of them doing more. Which I'm super excited about, because I love Jessica Jones. You know I fucking love Jessica Jones. Can't remember a thing. They did come out a long time ago. Twitch is currently experiencing problems with going live. Okay, if Twitch gives out on me, it's Twitch. Twitch is telling me that it's struggling, so... Why am I at Twitter? Oh, okay. I'm already live, so it may not be an issue. They tweeted out, "We are investigating the issue preventing users from going live. Thanks for the reports." Granny said help. Lamau. But I'm already live. Haha. I love the Punisher. The violence was epic. Was it? That's good. That's fair. Season 1 of Jessica Jones is the best season, and I'll be the first to say that, but I still loved all of it. So I went to stream, but fuck that shit. I think Max preferred season 1 as well over the others. But season 1 had David Tennant in it. What do you expect? Like... Also, unrelated, but kind of related, Invincible has been renewed for seasons 2 and 3, so, you know. They all lacked a decent power threat. Yeah, they did. Season 1 was the only one with the good villain, in my opinion. The others were mostly interpersonal villains, which can work, but I think they could have done it better. I still enjoyed the seasons. It's the only Netflix Marvel show I've finished, so... It, Supergirl, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are the only superhero cable shows. Oh, I guess they're not cable, but they're the only superhero shows I've finished that are Marvel or DC. So I don't think Invincible is Marvel or DC. I believe it's just comics, because it's also Invincible is also based on the comic series. I watched the crossover events, but that was about it. I never finished The Flash for obvious reasons. I never finished Arrow because I stopped caring. I stopped watching Legends because I lost interest. I never started Stargirl. I never started Black Lightning. Because I just didn't care. So, and y'all know I only finished Supergirl because of Supercorp and the Queerbait. So, the only reason I finished it was because I liked the cast. Yeah, I did hear The Flash's ending, yes. Okay, let's do a couple more posts and then we'll call it for the day. Because it's almost 6 o'clock, so. So many shows we needed to stop watching. Oh, yeah. I think Superman and Lois is the last DC show remaining. Yeah, I believe so. They purged a lot of them because of a merger, I think, that was happening. Okay, am I the asshole for slut-shaming my sister after I found a condom under my bed? Some info about me. I am a 23 female, and I'm sex-repulsed asexual. I thought Max was coming back in. However, if someone loves sex, I'm never rude to them or think bad about them. If they have a healthy sex life and are happy, I'm happy for them. May the CW cease to exist, yep. So, into the problem. My sister, 26 female, came to visit me with her fiance 4 days ago. They got engaged 2 weeks ago, and I'm so happy for them. My sister knows that I'm asexual and how I feel about sex in general. I asked her as nicely as I could if they do anything sexual in my house that I don't want to see or hear anything, or if they could wait until I leave for school or work, gym, whatever. She agreed, and I thought that was that. However, the first night that they were here, I woke up to a weird sound, and it took me a moment to realize what it was. They were having sex in the next room, very loudly. They didn't even close mine or their doors. I just put my headphones in and listened to some music. Needless to say, I didn't sleep well at all, and it affected my school and job performance the next morning. There were a few more incidents after that when they had sex in a shower, and then again at night. Next morning, I asked her again as politely as I could if they could keep it down and wait till I leave the house. She smirked, apologized, and said that it won't happen again, and not to worry. Anyway, I was cleaning my room this morning and saw some trash under my bed, so I took it out, and when I saw what it was, I almost threw up. It was a used condom. I screamed and threw it on the floor, and just stood there in shock. My sister came into the room to see what was going on, and she saw it and looked surprised, and then fucking laughed about it. I would kick those fuckers out of my house. I asked you for one thing. If you fuck in my house, do it while I'm not here, and clean up. That's all I asked. And you left a used condom in my room? No, get the fuck out of my house. Get the fuck out. Now. The fuck out of my house. No. And she's not even sorry about it. Oops, sorry. I was mortified and I could feel I was about to cry, which is stupid, I know. I asked her if they did it on my bed, why didn't they clean themselves? And she looked at me like I was a crazy person and just told me to stop overreacting and that people in real relationships have sex all the time. Not in your sister's bed, in her house. Apparently, how I should stop making being asexual or gay into my personality. I need to grow up, and that normal men and women are meant to have sex with each other, and so on. This triggered me a lot, since a lot of people have rejected me in the past because of my sexuality, which they have a 100% right to do. Anyway, this is where I could be the asshole. I told her that this is my house, and these are my rules, and if they can't respect that, then they can fuck off. Absolutely, they're in your fucking house. Also, they need that if two grown-ass people can't go 1 week without sex, that's very pathetic and sad, and they need to learn to control themselves better, honestly. She got really upset and started to cry. Her fiance was at the store, so she called him, and they left. They messaged me and said that I was an asshole and slut-shamed my sister for being in love, and that I need therapy for my problems. No, you're not the asshole. If they can't control themselves for a week, you're absolutely correct. They need to get some self-fucking control. Thank you for all the support. It makes me feel like I'm not weird one in the mess. A lot of you asked and said what asexual is. I thought it would explain why I had such strict rules in my house, why my sister uses phrases like real relationships and normal people. She believes that if a couple doesn't have sex, then it's nothing more than a platonic relationship, and that no one doesn't like sex. You're very wrong on that. Fortunately, I did not find any more surprises. My sister and her fiance left, and I got a text from their friend that they come and get their things in a few hours. I still don't know what the fuck happened or why it happened to me, but I'm starting to realize how horribly she's been treating me after I came out to her. It's kind of sad, and I didn't see all the red flags before, but oh well. Anyway, I texted her and asked what the fuck happened, and if they did it on purpose, if she's trying to convert me to being straight, if this is some sort of fetish, or did her fiance force her to do it. I also sent her fiance a text asking for an explanation, but he blocked me right away. My sister said that I gave them a very bad bed, that it was too small and uncomfortable for them. You're visiting! You're visiting. You're not obliged to 5-star treatment when you're visiting your sibling. It was too small and uncomfortable for them, and I have such a nice bed, and that technically it was her bed, so she can do whatever she wanted with it, which is true. It was her bed, but when I moved out, she gave it to me and bought herself a new one. So it's not her bed anymore. It's your bed. I'm a broke-ass student, so I took all the free furniture I could get. She said that she was sorry, but they did want to convert and cure me and show that sex is a normal, healthy thing. Not when you're having it every fucking day. That's a bit much. Especially when you've been asked to not. When you're in someone else's home and they've asked you to not fuck around, you don't fuck around. Yeah, they need the therapy, not the sister. I've apparently made comments and fun of normal people for having sex. Yeah, and? That's like black people making fun of white people. What does it do? It doesn't change anything. And openly slut-shamed her friends and other people for doing natural things. I think she's referring that the time when I called her friend an asshole for cheating on her boyfriend, and something I said about a movie character being sexist and discussing for seeing women as sex objects, also for calling her fiance's older brother, 35, a pervert after he tried to hit on me. My sister said that there is nothing wrong with having sexual attraction to others and that I need to get over myself. Also that they don't use so many condoms that sometimes they lose ones. Or that they use so many condoms, sometimes they lose one. Anyway, she's still typing, and I don't know if I have the energy to deal with her anymore. Don't deal with her. Cut her off. She seems like a terrible person. And is not treating you well. Even if you weren't asexual, what the fuck? Your sister should have more respect for other people's personal space and boundaries. And the nastiness of a used condom under your bed, no. Definitely not the asshole. Of all the people I've dated and had sex with, I've never once thought to just go and do it all over someone's house because sex is normal. Yeah. Yeah. Having sex on someone else's bed already makes them the asshole. Leaving a used condom doubles that. Laughing about it and insulting you in your own home makes them some of the biggest assholes I've seen on here in some time. It has nothing to do with slut shaming. You set boundaries in your own home, which is your right, and they deliberately trampled all over them repeatedly. I also agree that if they can't even control themselves for a short amount of time, that is pretty pathetic and even problematic. Do not invite them back to your place. They have zero respect for you. 100%. Yeah, having loud sex with the doors open and someone nearby is not normal. Hello?
Hello.
Ready to go?
Yes.
As an asexual myself, this shit would piss me off. Even if I wasn't an asexual, this shit would piss me off. It's unacceptable behavior. Have you been paying attention?
I'm reading the title, and I'm not... Wow.
Her sister and fiance came over for a week to her apartment. She's asexual and sex repulsed and asked them to not, that if they're gonna have sex in the house, to make it clean and not be too loud about it. And they proceeded to have loud sex all week and leave a used condom under her bed, implying that they had sex in her bed, and then actually admitted having sex in her bed and trying to convert her back from her asexuality. And that was the in a nutshell version.
That's pretty whack.
They had sex in her bed, Max.
Yeah. That's not great.
And then got mad at her when she was like, if y'all can't even not fuck for 1 week, I think y'all are the ones who need help. And I fully agree with that sentiment. I'm not asexual and it still pisses me off. Your sister blatantly threw your phobia in your face by disrespecting your house and your rules, even after agreeing to wait until you were out and then making a show of it while you were there. Not feeling as though she had rubbed your face in it enough, she then crosses the boundary into your own personal space and leaves filthy evidence of it for you to find. Go to her house and shit in every room. Tell her it's normal, and if she's grossed out cleaning it, she should get therapy. Yeah. What do you mean? Yeah, they did. They purposefully did it. She said in an update that they admitted to doing it on purpose.
That's so shitty.
Yeah. No, make her cry again. Make her cry again. She made you pick up a used condom. No. Make her cry every day for the rest of her life. Yeah, shit in her bed, Amber Heard style. Leave a grumpy in every room. Yeah, and it wasn't slut shaming either.
No. That's not slut shaming.
No.
Having not heard the post, because I had to turn it off so my phone
Yeah.
would charge. Having not heard the post, it's slut shaming. It's not slut shaming.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. My brain didn't process. Yes, it is not slut shaming to do what you've told me has happened.
Yeah.
I am going purely off your TLDR though. So.
I do think it's fair to call sex repulsion a phobia, because even though it's generally associated with asexuality,
Yeah, it's a phobia.
it's still a phobia. Like, your sexuality doesn't determine your view on sex. There are plenty of sexual people who are sex repulsed, you know? And there are plenty of allos out there who are sex repulsed. So I would definitely, I think calling it a phobia is acceptable.
Can you be an allo and sex repulsed?
Yeah.
But I guess. Yeah. Yeah. It's weird though. It's uncommon.
Yeah, I can't imagine having to touch someone else's used condom, let alone my sister's fiance's used condom. You could go vomit in every room in her house. That would be appropriate. Why? It's just AITA. Asshole is one word. I'm downloading you just for that.
Yeah, that's weird. You know what Reddit you're in, right?
Yeah, dumbass. Okay, it's 6 o'clock. We should probably go now.
Correct.
Okay, that will be all for today. I don't know what I'll be doing tomorrow. I'll let y'all know as per usual. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you very much. And I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.